Hey, we are live in the Rock Room with Worriers. Could you guys all say your name and what you do in the band?
I'm Lou and I play guitar.
I'm Lauren and I play guitar and sing.
Mike, I play drums.
I'm Nick, I play bass.
Thanks for being here, you guys. One of the questions we like to ask everybody who comes in here is, what are some of your individual musical influences, and is that something that you talked about when you formed the band?
I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of both like punk and pop punk, but also like more folk and things like that. So I taught myself how to play guitar with the purpose of like writing songs, definitely like from that songwriter perspective, and but I feel like I've always been in a band with folks who also just play like punk rock and like basement shows and stuff, and so I feel like that definitely influenced how this lineup has come together, but I feel like that's a really long story. But yeah, I mean, it's like I listened to a lot of The Clash when I was a kid, but then also Ani DeFranco. So I don't feel like I'm someone that can really pinpoint like exactly my influences. Like maybe I've heard Mikey do that for himself, but
yeah. We definitely do have, like, when you first played me the like Cruel Optimist stuff, like I definitely heard Weaker Than's in there. I definitely heard like Billy Bragg, and like even like all the Measure stuff was kind of like clashy and, you know, Billy Bragg-esque. So like I knew that like it would work together for us to play together because I have all those influences too.
Yeah.
If you guys were all forced to wear Kiss makeup for the rest of your lives permanently, like you had to get it tattooed, which member would you like to have tattooed?
I mean, I'd have to be Peter Criss.
Can we all be Peter Criss?
I mean,
I'll just
go with that.
Is that cool?
I'll just go with that. Yeah. That.
Although I could see Lou with silver star.
I've tried my best to ignore Kiss.
It's like I don't even know
about
them.
Existence.
And now here we are. Can't ignore them anymore.
No, it's permanent.
Right.
All right, we have actually a surprise for you. The tattoo artist is coming out of the
Okay, let's do this.
If you guys had the musical chops to make this happen, I think most of you play multiple instruments. If you could join any band at any point in their history, what band would you join? What instrument in that band would you play? And what era, like what time period of that band's existence would you like to make this happen?
That's a question.
Wow.
I wish I had got this question yesterday.
Usually with these questions, I can't make up my mind, but I would absolutely replace Mick Jones and The Clash during, I want to say, Give 'Em Enough Rope.
Nice.
I never know the answers to these questions.
That's
Instantly sure.
So why are you so sure that's your answer?
I want to play guitar with just drummer.
Okay, that'll work.
At a period of time where they kind of had their shit together, so to speak, or
before it got really weird.
Well, before it got weird, but after they were out of self-titled zone. Like where it was a little bit bigger than that and a little bit more nuanced.
I would join XTC because Andy Partridge is my favorite songwriter in the world. It's hard to pinpoint what era because their drummer Terry Chambers was like the best drummer ever. I'd probably try to join them right after English Settlement so that they would have a drummer afterwards, and then I could just be the drummer on Big Express, Mummer, Skylarking, Oranges and Lemons, and everything after that. Like, that would be a dream.
I'd want to be in like late era Fugazi, like from like Kill Taker on. I think that's an ideal for me.
Replacing who?
Replacing Joe Lally if I had to, but it's a tough thing to.
He'd play lead bass.
Don't tell Joe Lally I said that. Yeah. I think that's like, they had 2 drummers at the end. Maybe they could have 2 basses.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I would be Tanya Donnelly's right-hand man throughout her entire career.
ooh.
Through Muses and the Breeders and Belly. I'd be like, right, Tanya, what do you want? I got your back. That's my answer. And I don't know what I would play, actually. Maybe drums. I'd play whatever she needed, to be fair.
Because you
Well,
can't.
that's good, and you could.
Well, I'd give it a go.
Do you think the fact that you guys can play multiple instruments helps you write songs and understand what a song might need?
Definitely.
I do,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I
Like,
think, especially whenever, say if I'm ever playing drums, I always listen to the vocals and I would want to match with that as well as like with the bass. So it's like if you play multiple instruments, you can hear all, the important parts and you can sort of weave in a lot better.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
if Lauren's playing like a guitar, she's playing me a song for the first time, like the feel of what's going on the guitar, like I know what, if I was playing that same thing on guitar, what I would want the drums to sound like. And so like it's a good starting point to like get the song, kind of where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I definitely like being able to talk to folks with that sort of vocabulary. When we all listen to somewhat similar bands, like you can pull from those things rather than trying to make it more complicated than it has to
Yeah.
be.
Another question we like to ask most of the bands that come in here is that in today's musical landscape, it's so hard for bands to make money. Streaming services, you get 20,000 plays and get a royalty check for 8 cents.
Mhm.
Like, you don't hardly make money on tour. How do you guys make this work?
Well,
I love to play.
I don't know. But I think we've been touring a lot for the past year, which has been really great, and I think has been a way to help sustain things. If you're constantly playing shows, things can kind of only progress, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's taken a lot of work outside of the band to make it feasible, and yeah, it's like I'm not gonna pretend like, that this sustains itself, which is wonderful. But it's definitely very time consuming in order for it to do so beyond any sort of creative process. But yeah, there aren't any like streaming get rich quick schemes out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's just it really is like, for me and for how the band is structured, just to tour and play shows a ton all the time. And I feel like that's the only way it's been able to kind of sustain itself.
Do you think the fact that it is so much work, other than the creative part of it, does that make it harder to be creative?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, we just moved to Philadelphia, partially because I was like, I'm never writing another song again if I don't get out of New York. Like, it was too much to try to be on tour all the time and then come home and pay rent in Brooklyn. It was just not feasible. And it's like you have to find your way of making that work and finding that balance, but it wasn't easy for me anyway. Maybe for some people it is, but it wasn't for me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you guys.
One of the other things about me not writing songs for so long was because I was in a position where I was like, I'm just going to play music all the time, be on the road 10 months a year, and I can't write on the road. It's like I was always normally playing drums in a band and like didn't have a guitar around, can't like sit, you don't have that like hour or whatever indefinite amount of time you need to sit with a guitar and like write a song. So like that definitely like impeded on my like creativity.
What are some things that you guys try to do to break through like a creative roadblock?
I mean, I feel like I just need to give myself time. Like I'm somebody that like if I have something to do later in the day, I won't, or like a couple hours from now, I won't be able to just like sit and play or sit and write. Like I need to know that I have a block of time. So so kind of after figuring out that about myself, I just try to like be like, okay, this is my day to do all of this stuff, and I get all the other like life admin crap out of the way on a different day, and then I can just give myself like a whole afternoon. But you need time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it's if you're writing a song, you as in the whole world, like if you can wake up and not have to rush out the door, if you've got a bit of time in the morning, like as soon as you wake up, that's normally when, for me, like song ideas come. You know, if you haven't had, you know, I couldn't come home from work and be like, right, I'm going to write that song now. It's sort of, I have to have that space in my mind.
All right, so this is a new question. What is each of your best category in Trivial Pursuit?
Entertainment.
Probably entertainment.
The arts and literature.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with that.
Probably entertainment.
So, last question is, if you could describe the Rock Room in one word, what word would you use to describe that? Let's start with Mikey.
I can steal. I'm going to steal accommodating.
You don't want to go very accommodating? Just regular accommodating?
I did that last time.
Super accommodating.
Extremely fucking accommodating.
I don't know. I'll just go with fun. Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with jet then, because I should have said jet before, because of the dog and because of what song Mikey did. I did it the wrong way around. Never mind.
I'm gonna go Starburst.
Oh,
We had a good lively
you fucking
conversation
genius.
about it.
I'm gonna
I
get
think
a
it's
pink
good.
Starburst.
Yeah, all right, so let's talk about that real quick.
I'm going to go
All
red.
right.
Red.
So-
Red is my word now.
How can it possibly be your favorite flavor? Like, pink is the only possible answer.
I've always been like a cherry flavor person.
But they don't
make
taste like
bags of
cherry, though.
Just pink Starburst.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm just not a fan
It
of the
says
red.
cherry on it though, so I have to.
That's true.
I have to like it.
I know you guys have merch in like the Golden State Warriors font.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I just,
So,
just made that happen.
Were you guys bummed or happy that they lost in the finals to the Cavaliers? Because that happened.
Yeah, well, right after we stopped playing last night, the sound guy announced that, and I'm actually not necessarily a basketball fan specifically, so I have no allegiances. But I'm a little bummed that I just get to see people ragging on the Worriers on the internet a lot right now, but it's not me, so it's fine.
Cool. All right, well, I think that's it, you guys.
thanks very
Thanks
much.
so
Thank
much.
you.
This
Thank
was
you for
awesome.
having us.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
it was super accommodating.